Hey guys, may the 4th be with you. I just decided to make a video to kind of introduce you guys to what we're going to be doing for the month of May. There's going to be kind of two choices here, two pathways that you guys can decide whether you want to do this project or this project. I'll be giving you guys a picture of my grade book on Edsby so you guys know exactly what I'm going to be substituting for what, so you guys aren't accidentally doing too much work. For this, what we're basically doing is we're going to be getting into designing screen print designs to print on t-shirts, any other fabric, poster boards, etc. And I'm also going to be introducing you guys into what a stencil is and why stencils are so used in graphic arts and why they're used so much in other fields. So enjoy. Okay, so screen printing and stencils are two pretty similar things, very similar in graphic arts. I'm going to be talking about both of them. Screen printing and stencils are kind of more of a traditional old school way of doing graphic arts, but I think it's important because screen printing is kind of like the soul of graphic arts. You utilize a lot of different processes and tools and techniques to create a physical print on a surface that you can showcase to the world, like a t-shirt, your pants, a poster board, pretty much almost anything. And it's the same thing with stencils. I mean, stencils is an old school way of creating art, but I mean, it's been around for so long and it's still used today, so that's telling you something. So I like to bring it back to the traditional ways of graphic arts while combining new technologies, so I'm combining the present and the past. It's all about keeping them together. But before I get into what screen printing and what the stencils are, I'm going to talk about the two different pathways that I'm going to allow you guys to choose. First pathway is for those of you who have a computer and you're able to download Adobe Creative Cloud. The first assignment that you're going to do is the screen printing questions. So I'm going to give you guys a handout on screen printing, what it is, what are the origins of screen printing, what are some troubleshooting techniques when you are actually screen printing, and most importantly, terms, because there's some unique words to screen printing. The second assignment that you're going to do is you're going to design a two-color screen print. Now you can use a different, use already existing design if you want, and you might think that's really easy, like, oh, I could just take that design, put it on Photoshop, and then boom, I have my screen print design. Not quite. You have to separate your two colors and then also utilize registration marks. I'll explain all of that in another video. Your third and fourth project is going to be your low poly edit and your zipper project. I'm using the low poly edit and the zipper project as a replacement for two assignments for those of you who want to do things with no computer, or you don't have a computer, or you can't get the programs. So those are the four assignments there for those with a computer: screen printing questions, two color design for screen printing, your low poly edit, and your zipper project. Okay? For those of you with no computer, or you're unable to download Creative Cloud, or maybe simply you're a little bit more hands-on and you want to do things with your hands, you are still going to do the screen printing questions. All right, you are going to do a hand cut stencil. So you would cut out stencils from this paper here. You would print this out on paper, and then use an X-Acto knife, kind of like this, where you can find at any craft store, and cut out the shapes on this paper like this. Okay, so that's going to be your hand cut stencils, and then you guys are going to design your own stencil. Cut that stencil out. That'll be your third assignment, and then your fourth assignment is applying that stencil. So using some kind of medium to use that stencil with. I would say the easiest would be spray paint or watercolor paint. All right, so those are the four assignments for if you have no computer, you don't want to use a computer. What screen printing is? Well, screen printing is basically taking a screen like this. A screen is a frame, and it has a mesh in the middle of this frame. So this mesh right here is kind of like a screen door. It has a little bunch of tiny little holes. This screen in particular is 110 mesh. So what that means is every 1 square inch of this screen is 110 holes. 110. So you can imagine how many holes are in the entire screen. A lot. Screens are basically what you can put the paint onto and then create your screen print, your physical print. Now, the most popular way to do a screen print like this is to use a light-sensitive photo emulsion. So, this is a light-sensitive photo emulsion here, this blue stuff that I have on here. Basically what happens is, because it's light sensitive, it hardens in the light. So when it's exposed to light, all this blue stuff hardens and you can't take it off unless you use a special chemical. So this is light sensitive emulsion. And then basically what you do is you take a positive image kind of like this. Now let's pretend like this screen is not exposed to light, so it's still light sensitive, it still hasn't been exposed. You take a positive image like this and you place it on your screen like so. And what you do is you would take it to a light exposure unit or whatever contraption where you can concentrate a lot of light on this screen. And what happens is you burn an image onto the screen. Now, burning an image isn't actually the correct term, it's just easier to say. What really happens is this positive image is on here. All the blue stuff gets hardened except the blue stuff that is covered by your positive image. And when you take your positive image away, and then you take it to a sink or a wash station, wherever it has pressurized water, and you wash away that image, you get something like this. So now in the light sensitive emulsion, you have those holes that are exposed. If you remember back to the elements of design unit that we talked about, they're in space, there's positive space and negative space. So this right here would be your positive image, and you use that to burn a negative image into your screen. And then when we actually screen print, like I did at the beginning of this video where I pushed ink through this, you would push ink through these holes and then create another positive image. So remember, a positive image makes a negative image, and that negative image makes a positive image, and the positive image makes a negative image, and blah, 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 and it goes on and on and on. So that's one of the most popular ways to do screen printing. Another acceptable way to do screen printing, and this is where I'm talking about combining newer technologies with traditional graphic arts, is cutting out vinyl. So I use my vinyl cutter, I cut out this design here, and then I stuck this vinyl onto my screen like so. And there you go, I just made a stencil with my screen, and then I could push ink through this, and I can create a positive image of this. So those are the different ways that you can use screens and how they're just like stencils. Speaking of stencils, this hand-cut stencil practice that I did right here, I mean, boom, this is a stencil right here. All this space that I have here where I'm sticking my finger through, that's that negative space that I was talking about. We cut away that positive space. So I just cut it away to create that negative space, and now when I use an application to create my art, so I'm going to use airbrushing, when I spray the airbrush through the stencil, I would create a positive image like this on a different piece of paper. Alright? That's stencils, that's screen printing, both very similar things, and hopefully I can actually show you guys in person sometime in the future how to do screen prints, because you might be pleasantly surprised when you create t-shirts with a design of your own. So you can see how, just a simple paper stencil like this can create, very crisp lines and unique shapes when you actually use an application like airbrushing or spray paint. It is worth learning because it's a process and a technique that once mastered, you can create some really nice artwork. How we cut out these stencils with an X-Acto knife, how we create a two-color screen print design, those will all be video tutorials that I will send out later. This video is just simply an introduction so you know what path you're choosing and so you don't get too confused and do too much work. Hopefully May will be a month of lots of learning, and like I said at the beginning of the video, may the 4th be with you.